Hey, how's it going, guys? Matt here from the Toasty Bros, and this video is going to be something a little bit different. Now, I am not very picky when it comes to my laptops. Yes, I rock a Razer Blade Stealth, but this is a Razer Blade Stealth from 2016 with an older i7-6500U and 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, yes, first world problems here. This laptop is still pretty good compared to most of the laptops on the market that are really cheap. It's very thin, and it's a really good portable workstation. I can do some light video editing and some Photoshop work on this laptop when it actually works. There are some driver issues with this older i7 in this laptop, but that's a whole other video in itself. But this laptop is, well, a pretty solid option. But a few weeks ago, I got an email from my contact over at Computer Upgrade King, and they've been helping us out a lot on this channel by providing us with some really awesome tech to try out and make some content around. And when they said, hey Matt, I have one of the first Core i9 laptops that you can play around with, I was like, please? Why isn't it on my front door right now? So, yeah, let me introduce to you the MSI G7 whatever Titan. Yeah, I don't know the full product name of this thing, but honestly, this thing is ridiculous. So, let's talk about this after a word from today's sponsor. As a creator, creating content is almost second nature. Once the idea hits my mind, I almost go into autopilot, doing scripting, recording, and editing until it's complete. However, getting it seen on the crowded space that is YouTube is a whole other challenge. With TubeBuddy though, you get access to a wide range of tools like tag optimizers and search ranking results to help you optimize your content to succeed on YouTube. Want to give it a shot? Click the link down below to learn more. Alright, so the full name of this laptop is the GT75 Titan 8RG. This thing right here, if I could get it in shot without disturbing the microphone quality, is a behemoth of a laptop. Can you tell? I don't think you can tell. This laptop is a 17.3-inch monster of a laptop with a 1080p 120Hz display, an Intel Core i9 8950HK processor, yeah, you heard me right, an i9 processor in a laptop, more on that later, and a GTX 1080. Now the practicality of this thing is, well, kind of ridiculous, and I'm going to give you a breakdown real quick while also mentioning another laptop that Computer Upgrade King offers that they also sent over that kind of might make more sense for you in terms of your purchase. Now circling back to the point I made just earlier, this thing is massive. This is giving me a shoulder workout as I'm holding it right here, but you would think this thing runs pretty cool, right? Well, honestly, no. This Intel Core i9 processor, when plugged in and turboing up, automatically thermal throttles like 90% of the time. This thing right here really can't even cool down that Intel Core i9 in here without having some sort of thermal throttling issue. So that's something to keep in mind when getting this thing. You're probably not going to get the full performance of it. And if you haven't already seen Linus's video where he tested out an Intel Core i9 laptop, you can kind of tell that it's the same scenario even if you try to overclock it. This one is not overclockable, so this one's a little bit more reasonable than that one. The I/O on this thing is, well, pretty solid. You got 3 USB 3.0 ports, all the headphone and audio jacks you could ever desire, and 2 more on this side with a micro SD slot. And on the back of this machine you have gigabit Ethernet, an HDMI out, a DisplayPort out, a Thunderbolt, and a charging plug, which transitions nicely into the fact that this thing uses, you know what, my words will probably not explain it that well. Let me show you what this thing uses for charging. This, my friends, is the charging setup for this laptop. Yes, you need 2 power bricks, along with this adapter and tangle of cables to get this thing to run at full performance. This setup makes me beg the question, where does the line between laptop and desktop cross? Because this thing, while be it, yeah, it's probably more portable than a high-end desktop, it's still incredibly impractical for traveling. Like, this is not a thin and light. Now, in terms of performance on this thing, I did some testing in games like Fortnite and PUBG, and as you can tell, the performance is, well, great. On a 1080p display, a GTX 1080 can push a ton of frames, making that 120Hz display on this laptop actually really practical because you can get high refresh rate results over 100 plus FPS and actually get to benefit the benefits of a high refresh rate display. One thing I did not mention is the keyboard on this bad guy. This thing is a mechanical keyboard. Of course this is a mechanical keyboard. This is a crazy laptop. Why wouldn't it have a mechanical keyboard? And the trackpad is, well, mechanical switches as well. This thing is well built with pretty much everything you could ever want. But why is this thing a thing? Why does this exist? Because of the practicality of it? Not really. This is kind of an enthusiast piece of hardware. Intel Core i9 in a laptop. Really? We're not there yet to where we could safely have an i9 in a laptop and actually get decent temperatures with it. So this kind of thing right here is more of a, yo, I got money, I spent all my money on my gaming PC, and I want an equally badass setup on the go, so I'm gonna get this thing because it's somewhat portable, right? Some may argue this would make the most sense as like a portable editing PC, but I have a counter argument to that. This Intel Core i9 doesn't boost up as high as something like an 8700, which I'm going to transition to in just a few minutes. And using Premiere Pro, you do get a decent boost using that GTX 1080 with its CUDA cores along with the Core i9, but there are better options that are much more portable than this. You do get smooth scrubbing, and it would make sense for a portable editing machine if you have it plugged up against a wall, but what if you're not against a wall right now and you need some battery? The battery life on this thing is like awful. I had this thing unplugged testing it, and I probably got about an hour and a half worth of battery just browsing the web. This thing is really impractical for portability. It's really just a portable desktop that's kind of an all-in-one setup. So this thing right here, while be it cool, the practicality of it just kind of kills it for me. Now, as a content creator, I see practicality as the main focus of a laptop. I want something that is somewhat portable, that's why I have this, and it does a decent job editing videos. But there is the best of both worlds because this right here doesn't have a dedicated GPU, which is nice to have for gaming on the go, or if you want to do something like video editing with much more extensive 4K files. Because on this thing, I can really only edit at 1080p and export at 1080p, and the render times are pretty bad. Computer Upgrade King has their laptop of choice that actually may solve this solution. You see, this thing is much more practical. This guy right here is their N950 VR laptop, and let's run down the specs of this guy real quick. Now, yes, this thing is not as flashy as the big MSI Titan over there, and it's not meant to be. This thing has a really sleek black design to it, and if you open it up, it doesn't have anything crazy. The screen is your typical 1080p screen with just a 60 Hz refresh rate, and it does come with just a normal membrane keyboard with basic backlighting. The trackpad is okay. It is a little bit weird to work with, but again, it's a trackpad. It kind of does its job for on-the-go work, but if you're going to be editing, you're most likely going to want to bring a mouse with you. Now, the big thing about this laptop is its specs. This thing rocks an Intel Core i7 8700. Yes, that is a desktop 8700, a 6-core 12-threaded processor, along with a GTX 1060 6GB and 32 gigabytes of RAM. Now, this is much more practical for the size. Now, yes, you will be wondering, wow, that's a desktop 8700. How's that thing cool? Well, under IDA 64, it still does get up to about 90 degrees Celsius. IDA 64 is a worst case scenario test load, and something like a render would probably be less demanding, but you still are going to get slight thermal throttling with this laptop, which is just about the same as the MSI laptop. But the thing is, the 8700 actually performs better in Premiere Pro than the Core i9. Yeah, you kind of surprised here? So this thing right here makes a lot more sense for a portable video editor, someone who wants to bring a laptop with them that has the ability to game with a GTX 1060 at 1080p, albeit only on a 60 Hz display compared to a 120 Hz display, but the price does show it, and if you want to know up-to-date pricing, link in the description down below. But this thing right here is much more practical and has a lot of I/O as well. This thing comes with two USB 3.0 ports, a USB 2.0 port, two display ports out, a Thunderbolt, HDMI, and Gigabit Ethernet. That is pretty decent I/O for a laptop that could be used as a gaming laptop and an editing laptop. The DisplayPort outs, which are mini DisplayPort outs, the same thing on the MSI laptop, are great for adding second monitors to a portable traveling editing setup. So I can see this thing being really practical, and as you can tell from the benchmarks of playing Fortnite and PUBG, this thing performs, well, pretty damn good as well in gaming using a 1060. Again, it's not as high-end as the laptop over here for gaming with a 1080, but this thing makes much more sense than a laptop. You don't need to bring your whole desktop with you. You can use a 1060 and an i7, which is first world problems here because this is still a pretty high-end machine by most standards, even in a desktop, and you could get a lot of video editing done and actually have a practical portable machine that I can carry with me. Like, imagine watching somebody walk into a coffee shop with this. This thing is not ridiculous. It's fully blacked out, and it doesn't have any crazy logos on it. Now imagine if somebody walked in the coffee shop holding this, like their child. Yeah, this thing is ridiculous, and the price point as well. But overall, I am very impressed with what this laptop has to offer from Computer Upgrade King, and if you want to see a dedicated review of each of these machines, let me know in the comment section down below. Tell me which one you're more interested in seeing a review of, and I'll do a lot of benchmarking, and probably just post like a montage of benchmarks on the YouTube channel so you all can see exactly what they're made of. But overall, I think the MSI laptop is really cool. The tech nerd in me likes the way it's put together, and how it's just ridiculously overkill just to be ridiculously overkill, but the practicality of this laptop actually makes me wish I could have this thing as my daily driver, because it's really, really awesome for what you're getting, and I hope one day I could get one of these guys. Computer Upgrade King, we can work out a deal, right? And that about wraps this video up here, guys. If you like this video, leave a like down below and comment Computer Upgrade King on the comment section down below if you made it this far. Special thanks to them for sending out products to help out this channel. They've been helping us with some APU builds, and we have some other stuff on the way from them that we can try out and make some awesome content with. So special thanks to them again for helping out the channel. And if you are interested in any of the products, especially the Computer Upgrade King laptop or the MSI laptop, links in the description down below. Thanks again, guys, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace out.